I'm trying to talk you guys into picking up and getting out and doing things, and today I feel like I've had it up to here. I'm in a room that's absolutely wonderful, but the air conditioner's decided to go on the fritz. So being of mechanical contracting background, the drain to the coil is basically plugged and it's backing up into the room. And I'm not in the mood to go out and fix it yet. I could put my fingers in there if I wanted to, but I'm not too sure where it is blocked, so not my worry. I did message the company that I am renting from, or through booking.com, and make sure that you go through Booking or they can't trust that they will get the information. So now I'm going to do my best to get this video done anyway. And if you hear some dripping in the background, I might also shut off the AC if it does get a little bit too much. I guess we should go over the budget from last week. I spent a whole bunch of time talking about getting it together and never talked about my numbers at all. So we're going to go over those numbers, as well as we'll go over the numbers from this week as well. Topic of the day is going to be planning. As much as the minimal life is absolutely fantastic, the nomad life has a lot of planning attached to it. I thought that would be a real downside to present in this video, but I'm realizing as I've been filming that it's not so much a downside just for nomad life, but when you go and make a change, there is this planning or this newness until you build up some sort of a rapport or a database of what goes right and what goes wrong. So living life is part of the grind, the 9 to 5, you're constantly planning. You're trying to fit your life into the hours that you have available for you after you go to work. Well, when you're on the road, it's kind of the same way. You're trying to fit this planning and forecasting of what the future is into a certain amount of hours. It can creep into every part of your day where you're not even enjoying things because you're here and your brain is already thinking that, oh, I've got a plan for next week or 2 weeks from today. What I tend to do is I try to plan from a month to 6 weeks in advance. 6 weeks is really nice, up to 2 months. And then when I get within that month framework, that's when I'm back at the computer again, like I am today or the last couple of days, because I need to know what's happening from there. I want to make sure that when I'm getting on my flight in the next week to my next country, that I'm able to enjoy the country at least for the first week and not have gears going in my head as, what am I doing next? What am I doing next? I'm going to have to be honest and say this isn't all sunshine and rainbows. When the sun is shining, it is. And when things work out and you don't have troubles, it's wonderful. But when you have conditions change, you have to muddle through. I really am happy that I came from not a lot of money growing up and being on the farm and being resourceful and having a lot of common sense. I also don't have the expectation when I come to another country for it to be exactly like where I came from. Why would I travel? I could stay at home. So I've found that you can research and research and research till your eyes fall out. And the accommodations, as you see on site, are nothing like what they are when you get there. Not like I've been a good majority of places, but if you're going to budget travel, be prepared that the facility you're going to enter might be showing you pictures from when they did the renovations or of the couple of rooms that they've renovated. But all in all, when you get there, a couple of years by the sea and the conditions of a high humidity will definitely have it looking not as pristine as what those pictures show you. The other thing is that the cleaning might not be A1 as well. I'm going to show you the wall behind me, just so you can get an idea of what that might look like. Now, I could let these things really get to me and wonder how it is that I keep picking the wrong place. But instead, I try to look for what the, upside is. It's kind of, I guess, like a marriage. And who am I to talk? I've spent most of my life single But do you get 100% of everything you want? No. Usually you're happy if you're 70 and upwards. That's what I look forward to, or I look at when I'm getting an accommodation. I have certain things that are important to me. Of course, I want it to be generally clean, the bathroom to work well, the air conditioning to work well, the bed sheets to also be clean. I'd like things to be serviced and maybe have water or my kettle and be able to make coffee in the morning. Other than that, I might have to give up the fact that nobody washed the wall when they were here. Some people can do it where they just land for maybe a day or two and then they're off. It's a bit much for me. I'm not too sure if it's just me in general, and it probably is because I'm pretty tired sometimes, especially after travel. And I don't think I want to get and hop on the next thing and sometimes just make the next mistake when I'm not really all lights on at that time. So what I tend to do is book a week and I can rough it. I mean, I have asked and sent an email for a new room and we'll see what happens, but that might not happen. We'll see before this video gets out if I can update you with what really went on. As I said, I try to book for a week and no longer, unless it's a place that I've been to before or somebody's referred me to. This time when I'm traveling, I have some people in places where I'm going. So when I head off to the Philippines, I have a friend from Winnipeg that will be there. There are times when you might pick a room and you just can't stick with it at all. That, I think, is the upside or a pro to being a budget traveler. I try to keep my accommodations to $150 Canadian a week. And if it is for, as last year, I had to leave Cambodia because of my tooth. One, the accommodations I picked were a little too budget for this budget traveler, as well as I needed to get back to Thailand so I could fix my tooth or have my tooth fixed. I felt more comfortable going back to Thailand. So I stayed not one day in that accommodation. My tuk-tuk driver helped me secure another accommodation that day. And I just basically let go of the $135 that it cost me for that accommodation and moved to a new hotel. Looking back and now knowing what I know, I really jumped too soon. I could have roughed it for one night, but maybe because of having the pain in my head of the tooth at that time, it was all happening simultaneously. I really was in Cambodia for only 6 days. So, no, I was in Cambodia for 5 days. Yeah, so with all that going on at one time, I think maybe the conditions that I was in was not as overwhelming as I was taking it at the time, but I did have my tooth condition that I had no idea was in such bad repair. So I really only had 5 days of Cambodia. My other hotel I appreciated better. It was much more my speed and cost me exactly the same. So for that 1 week, I had to double up what I would have normally paid. I could be in Canada spending money on an accommodation, I guess, that I'm used to seeing, but all in all, it's really not newer and could be updated very much so and costs me $90 a night where you're by the airport and can do suite FA. So yeah, I would rather be here making a mistake or having a dirty wall that I can contend with just fine at $23 a night. I would suggest, now that I've traveled a bit, is there are a lot of YouTube videos online, mine included, that will give you tips or pictures or, take you around to different places. But you really need to put your boots on the ground. Don't jump all in and say, oh great, I've watched this video about Chiang Mai and I'm gonna stay there for a month. You might get to Chiang Mai and say, oh my gosh, not what I thought I was getting through that video. Or that person through their video really only gave you a certain perspective or their perspective. So you really wanna get your feet on the ground. I'm a 60-year-old woman that I'm pretty sure I know what I like and don't like in life. I'm not out to party day and night, and I have a certain amount of accommodations that I want for myself or needs that I have to satisfy. You might not be looking for that. You might want to be on the beach every minute, tanning away and be in the water. I love that, but as I said, I'm here to experience the culture and maybe find a place where I can settle in, and that might be by the beach. I just have not got there yet. So again, put your feet on the ground and see what you might like, because what it looks like in a picture might not be what it smells like in real life. So as I said, I try to book about 6 weeks in advance. And that being said, it can take me a good 2 to 3 days to just do nothing but researching flights, researching accommodations, researching places around those accommodations that I might want to see. Yeah, it just takes a lot of time and work to keep you on budget. But I guess it takes a lot of time and work to keep your life going Monday to Friday, especially if you're juggling, robbing Peter to pay Paul, trying to find better deals at your local grocery store. So I don't know, it's a trade-off. I'd rather be here a little simpler, and it's a little bit more of an adventure, and this is probably maybe the best time to segue into the budgets. So last week at Karon Beach, we were right on budget and actually came a little bit underneath because, as I said, I'm trying to stay to $1,800 a month. So $1,800 a month is a little over $450 a month, so I always go lower to $400. So if I can remain within around $400 a month, I know I'm right on target to keep myself under $1,800. In Karon, the total I spent was $418.08. Not a bad job. I had a little bit of fun, went out to different places, and as I'm doing videos, I'm not always eating at budget places. So in trying to show you a couple of different establishments, and especially as I had mentioned, I really liked that group that I really like my accommodations that I had. I also wanted to take you to their neighboring cafe so that you could have an idea of what their food is like as well. So to go over, my rent was $138. The food budget ended up being $87.58. Grabs, I did take taxi from the airport. I arrived, and of course they said to me, "Oh, there's no taxis for another hour," which if I would have haggled, they started off at 1,500 baht, and I ended up somewhere around, 1,000 baht. I just was tired after traveling for 20 plus hours from Canada. So I was just happy to, and had it in my budget that I knew I'd be paying about $30 from the airport. So I ended up taking the Grab, as well as the Grab that got me to my next accommodations. I bought a couple of personal items, probably shampoo and such. I ended up getting my AIS eSIM, and that was $51.56. I buy the unlimited because I need to do the videos, but I did last year too. It's not even worth worrying about it. I might as well just pay for the whole thing for $50. I pay $100 just to have my phone in Canada with hardly a plan. So $50 to have everything in my internet in Asia is a great, great deal. My bank fees for taking money out were $10.75. I bought my cannabis, as I showed you, thanks Hugo, for $43. Yeah, my budget for booze was $22. So not so bad. So next, let's do that. Sorry, I'm in the wrong spot. So then let's go for this last week. This last week in Phuket, Old Town, I stayed at Lub Sabai Hotel, or Lub Sabai Hostel. Again, it was part of a group. There's Lub Sabai Hostel, Lub Sabai Hotel, as well as their resort and guest house. So I stayed at, of course, the smaller budget of the three at $143.79 for the week. I had a food budget, my food came in at $55.77. I ate a lot more street food in Old Town. I was so happy with that. I We'll show you a lot of those pictures here. My grab, that was to go from one area, so to go for Karon Beach to Old Town ended up being $13.20. Again, I could have gone by bus. There is a local bus that goes around Phuket that basically travels all around Phuket, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 100 baht to get on it, so you can get to a lot of the main beaches or the main stops within Phuket if you want to use that. I've just been doing it a little bit more comfortable on myself this time, and we'll see. You might see different videos in the future of me actually going on that bus. Again, I didn't see any sites. The sites I wanted to see was Old Town. It's, it doesn't cost you anything. I bought some more supplies, so I think it was conditioner because I left it at the last hotel. I pulled out money twice, so my fees for bank was $20, and then booze was $65. I had a bit more fun, I guess, while I was in Old Town Phuket. So again, my spending was $303.73, so really staying under budget. Yeah, so my total so far for 11 days in Phuket has come to $721.81. I think I'm not doing so bad, considering my food bill was $400 for 1 month in Canada. All right, so we have a bit of an update. Oh, I don't have my mic on, sorry. New room, much the same as the other one, not as nice a view. I thank you so much for tuning in today. Next week, we'll be in Rawi Beach, where I was lucky enough to land a 4-star boutique resort, give you an idea of what budget resort looks like as well. I thought it was fabulous. Till next time, remember, be kind to yourself. Take care and talk soon. Bye for now.